Going live. Clicking Instagram. Hello again, and welcome to another episode of the Fun Fans Podcast. I'm your host, James Dillard. With me, as always, my co-host, Bailey Jackson. How you doing, Bailey?
I'm good. It's a rather wet Wednesday here in the upstate of South Carolina, but I'm good.
It is wet, and we're calling for more showers and getting hot. It's gonna be like spring or summer or something up in here. And last time we were on here, we were freezing to death. But
yeah, it's gonna be warmer. It already is.
It's called living in South Kakalaki.
That's right.
Where we love it. Where we have some breaking news. But first, our breaking news is brought to you by the Fun Fans, who are a proud part of the Fanboys Fangirls Sports Podcasting Network. If you're a true sports fan, the Fanboys Fangirls is perfect for you. Find various nationwide podcasts and other sports media at thefanboys.com and all forms of social media. The Fun Fans Podcast is the official podcast for Clemson fans. What else?
And so I'd like to thank Reuben, Sports Spirits and Catering, the absolute best wings around. You can find them at ReubenC.com, or you can check them out at 1083 Batesville Road in Greer or 11028 Anderson Road in Piedmont. It's a great place to eat for us fans, especially these Tiger fans.
Tiger fans. Hey, and all right, Diamond Edge products. That link is coming. It's coming. In the meantime, if you order something off of Diamond Edge products, you can tell them Fun Fans sent you or don't. But I just want to show, look, I went and picked this up today. I got this. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Personalized, really cool license plate thing for my wife. Engraved. She likes turtles. So she got some turtles. And I got a little something for myself. Let's see if I can get this thing to do right here. They have some really, really cool stuff. Some high quality pocket knives. And can you see? Where's the camera?
Yeah, you gonna cut somebody?
No, it's kind of
just in case you need it.
Well, just be honest. This is the first time I've said this. The real reason I got this, I wanted an heirloom. One of the things I have handed down from my grandfather is his pocket knife, and I don't even own a pocket knife.
Right.
So I bought this one with my initials, and hope one of these days I will hand that down to a grandchild.
Okay.
So there you go. I may not even, it may just sit in a drawer somewhere, but high quality stuff, good work. I mean, like I say, I learned more about pocket knives in the past couple of days than I ever thought I would need to know. But Bailey, what's the first breaking news we want to talk about? There's two-ish.
Well, let's go with the less important of the two to us, and that would be Jim Harbaugh is leaving the University of Michigan. And he's moving to San Diego or Los Angeles to coach the Chargers, Southern California, either way. And who didn't know that was going to happen? He was interviewed by several NFL teams, and clearly he was leaving Michigan. So there you go.
Yep. So Michigan, the domino, the what everybody thinks will happen. I think offensive coordinator be promoted. Is that or one of the coordinators?
Yeah, probably
likely be promoted. So coach two Harbaughs in the NFL
again.
That can be interesting. So congratulations and best of luck to him. And the other big news that came out today, more important to us, like Bailey was saying, the Clemson football 2024 football schedule. Just look at that. It's a football schedule.
Mm-hmm.
It's got plenty.
We can dig deeper into this on Sunday night, but I'd just like to point out a few things. One, there's not 3 home games in a row anywhere for 3 straight weeks. There is an off day built into the first 3 home games. So looking forward to that. And, no Notre Dame on there. But anyway.
And I think I said this before, the new people to the conference, I think it'll be cool to play Stanford. So
and Clemson.
Just be something different. So the Clemson football schedule is out. No Thursday or Friday night games for the Tigers. So that's also a plus.
Yeah, they're not going to ever.
We are just crossing our. Well, Clemson will get they have in the past.
They're not going to play one at home.
No, not at home.
And it'll be at Syracuse or somewhere.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So
this state would not support that.
Not at all. All right. So There you go. It starts at the beginning and ends at the end. So look at there. Go Tigers. All right. On to today's show. We're going to talk about some real fun fan experiences, and we're going to solve a huge problem. There's a huge problem, and we're going to solve it. Okay?
Okay.
The number one fun fan, I mean, this guy right here, Jason Kelce, right? It's the Jason. Yeah. He's the Jason. If he didn't have a fun, he is the poster boy for fun fans right now, right?
Yeah, he was actually heard him on the radio today. And he told it. They asked, "What did your wife say?" Or "How did your wife? What did she do?" And he told her. He said, "Now look, I'm going to take my shirt off and I'm jumping out of this window at some point this evening." And she goes, "You better not do that." He goes, "Oh, I'm not asking for permission. I'm just letting you know what's going to happen." And he had a blast.
Oh yeah, he had a gay old time for sure. And hey,
that's a Pro Bowl center who had just been beat the week before, who has announced he's retiring. So let off a little steam.
Letting off some steam
at your brother's football game with Taylor Swift in the booth.
And there's video of him tailgating before the game, and then of course all kinds of pictures and video of this stuff during the game. So he was having an extremely good time. It kind of reminds me of me at the Notre Dame Hurricane game. Sort of a little bit. It was
only he can jump back up into a window. Can you do that?
I probably could have that night.
Okay.
I could have jumped in and out of various. I almost ended up in the box that night, but that's for something that would have been
that would have been a better place to watch that game, probably
on the podcast. Yeah,
the driving storm.
So another. This is a fun fan experience. It's, it depends on how you look at it, but a lot of people have heard, and I'm not talking about the player, of course. We're talking about the fan here. We'll show you a video if you can see it. We want to think about it from the fan perspective, and we'll talk about some of what's been going on. So hopefully, the Fun Fans media video team's been working on this. So hopefully this will play. It's going to play because all I got to do is click play. Here we go. It's kind of small. So this is what's her name? Caitlin Clark, right?
Yeah.
So Caitlin Clark, is that like Superman's daughter?
No, she's like one of the best. I mean, she's probably the best player in the NCAA right now.
Yeah. So
she's TikTok.
She's a legit player. And okay, we're gonna let this play one more time, even though most people have seen it, and this is extremely small. She's leaving the court at she's booking it.
Well, they just got beat.
They just got beat. And the fan has a phone up in the air and is headed toward headed toward the crowd there in the middle of the court. And they collide, and it's a nice little collision. So the she lays on the floor, and you can tell the one thing you can see in that video is she's assisted off the court into the locker room, and she's holding this, that, and other, like she's extremely hurt. And now you tell me if I'm wrong, but I heard during the press conference, she said it caused major injury. And then in a later interview or later that day or something, she said it could have caused severe injury.
Well, so, it probably startled her more than anything.
I'm sure it startled
her. But she said it knocked the breath out of her, which I guess it could have. But that's why you shouldn't let people storm the court.
All right. Well, okay. So go back to what. So since they are storming the court, and it's it's not like they let them, not let them, whatever.
Wait a minute. South Carolina stormed the court last night.
We'll get to that in a second. Okay. But in this particular incident, I kind of feel we need to watch it again. If you can see it, look at the fan. I think she creams this chick. Boom. The fan goes hard. And look one of the Ohio State players tries to help her. Somebody pushes her out of the way. Did you see that? That was interesting. Right. Where's it? Boom. Just pushed the Ohio State player trying to help out of the way.
For those of you who listen on audio, look it up.
Yeah, you're going to have to. And like I say, most people have seen it. Y'all have heard about it. I think personally, two people ran into each other. It was a complete accident, and neither of the two people were injured. And then, but she gets in the press conference. She acts like she's all hurt and stuff. And it turns into, in my opinion, not a good, she don't care. And definitely don't care what my opinion is, but turned into not a good look for Clark.
Well, can I talk about South Carolina now, or am I waiting?
No, okay. All right. So what happened with South Carolina?
All right, so they beat Kentucky last night. Great win. Huge win.
Yeah. Huge.
All right. That only now the Carolina win for Clemson only looks better.
Looks better.
But they stormed the court. Well, that is a $100,000 fine levied by the SEC because they have an agreement that their arenas and their universities will not allow that to happen. And if you allow it to happen, you receive a fine. Nothing good can happen out of fans rushing the court other than
camaraderie.
Right. I understand all that. But as
tradition,
an athletic administrator, it is a dangerous situation. I mean, let's be honest. You just bought a pocket knife.
I did.
What if somebody had a pocket knife? What if somebody said, I hate that guy. I'm going to shank him after the game. Well, one, you have to sneak that into the game because you go through those awesome metal detectors that we talk about sometimes. But it can happen. Things like that can happen, and you don't want it to happen, but it could happen.
It could happen, but I mean, that particular example, like you say, that should be stopped at the door. That's really not,
even just a fight between players, between a player and a fan.
A fight is something that you're definitely worried about, but the more likely thing, obviously, to happen is an accidental collision. But it could, I mean, there's a situation where that could lead to injury for one or the other. So there's got to be a solution, though, where fans can still be fans and you can still have tradition. It's probably way harder. I don't know. Is it harder on the basketball field versus the football field?
It's a court.
I'm sorry, a basketball court.
All right, let's just use Clemson as an example.
Perfect segue.
All right.
Clemson as meet us at the Paul.
Yeah, so they need to if you want to have meet at the Paul, fine, but the visiting team needs to have 5 minutes to get off the field. I'm just telling you.
All right.
Something
we have
really
a solution.
Bad can happen.
Our graphics team has put together the solution. Are you ready to see it?
I'm ready because I don't even know our graphics team.
Our graphics team, who are underworked and overpaid. So as you can see here, we're going to gather at the Paul. Okay, this is Clemson's football. For those of you watching on audio, you just got to check this out. You've got the home team, you've got the visitors. And this yellow represents some, okay, so you know that we changed the whole, get rid of the tearing down the goalpost. As soon as the game's over, we put in these goalposts that go flat on the ground, right?
Right.
So similar to that, except this would require people. You have some type of ribbon, barrier, rope, something.
Some people use caution tape.
Well,
I've been to classes on this.
Hence the yellow.
Yes.
And they are designated to form the line this way and form the line that way across the visitor sideline. And the fans know, okay, we're going to meet you at the Paul, but you can't go into yellow. No yellow. It's like don't eat the yellow snow. Don't come inside of the yellow ribbon. And you can meet at the Paul, but that gives the opportunity for the teams to shake hands, and then the visitor team can funnel safely back into the locker room.
Okay, that has some holes in it, but it's an idea.
Well, are you talking about how it looks like a 3-year-old wrote the word home and visitor?
Yeah.
Okay, or no other holes maybe.
You just shouldn't do it. I'm sorry.
You gotta try to maintain this tradition. Okay, so the
catastrophic. It could be
5 minutes. How about 5 minutes? A long time. If you really sat and timed.
Yeah, I'm in the car normally in 5 minutes.
So 5 minutes. Yeah,
I'm on perimeter road, baby.
If there was a pause and it was given enough time to set up the barrier, how long would it take to? I mean, people can fast walk a 50-yard dash.
It's literally 10 people on each side with your caution tape, setting that up. Boom, you just pull it out and let them shake hands and then get the other team off the field.
Yep, and tell them, okay, so in addition to telling them outside the yellow, stay out of the yellow tape, 30 seconds. That can be done in 30 seconds. And people can, no matter how much they tailgated and how excited they are, they can, 30 might turn into 15, but at least there's a time frame that everybody understands when you shouldn't be out there. So
what I think
got to be a happy medium.
They put in these pocket fences, meaning all around the wall, they have these pocket fences, and as soon as the game's over, they raise them, and nobody can go out on the field.
That would stop it for as long as you wanted it to stop.
Could be an invention.
Well, okay, so let's go back to our graph. So if they did what you're saying, except at the hill, because that's let's just be honest. If I'm talking about tradition, all the kids used to run out on the field from the hill, right? So if they did that everywhere except at the hill, by the time you could almost let them go. By the time anybody made it from the hill to the middle of the field, I mean, that would be probably 30 seconds or maybe not quite that long, but it can be done where it's safer, less risky. You're never not going to have any risk and still maintain some fun and tradition for the fans, in my opinion.
I know. We'll disagree to disagree.
So, well, and here's the thing about not saying to not do it at all. That's what they said at South Carolina, and what happened? They did it.
Yeah, and that's a pretty significant fine.
That is a significant fine. And in the football season, at a SEC football game, we talked about this during the season, it's a $500,000 fine.
Right.
So we can say, don't do it. But sometimes it's better to have a plan because you're outnumbered. There's 70,000 fans. You can put up as many rules and little people as you want. If 50,000, 10,000 people decide they're going to come out on that field, they're coming out on that field. So in my opinion, you better have a plan. That would be safer versus saying don't do it and then trying to. Have you seen the video of the guy shuffling back and forth at the end zone? I don't think it may have been an NFL game or something, just trying to Russian sickled some lady or something.
No. I can't believe nothing. I cannot believe that something like it. Football is a collision sport where guys are out there. It's aggressive. It's just violent by nature. Fans get into it. Fans have different levels of emotion. I cannot believe that some opposing player has not gotten into a fist fight with a Clemson student who's run out there running his mouth.
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
Well, they're hanging in there. Yep. And honestly, it's gotten worse. I'm sure there was a little bit of stuff a handful of years ago, but it just I hate to say it, but in all fans, not Clemson and all of them, they're getting worse and worse and worse. There's no repercussions for if it's a mob mentality when you're out there with all those people. And that's like I say, that's the thing. You got to do something, and you can't, in my opinion, you can't just say it's never going to happen. You can say don't do it, but you still better have a plan in the event it does.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So that's it. If IPTAY wants that, just reach out, or football team or whoever, and I'll be more than happy to share all my security insight for that. All right. So real quick, we're about to wrap it up. I thought this was going to be a short show, but it's turned into legit upcoming stuff. We talked about some breaking news. We're going to be, I'm telling you, I'm working on how to get these tickets this hockey game is going to be fun. All right. February 24th, mark your calendars, 1 o'clock, Clemson versus South Carolina. And then at the Bon Secours, we talked about this Sunday. Ladies basketball is tomorrow night against NC State. And Bailey, how big is the game Saturday against Duke?
I mean, they're all big. I don't think it's like end of the world big, but it's big. When you're playing at Cameron Indoor.
Yeah. Well,
and if you've never been there, it would be an impossible place to play if they are rocking and rolling. It is so small.
Yeah.
It's so tight.
Well, I think it would be big for us to, like, winning the W versus the L is whatever. There'd be more games to play, but
yeah, Clemson's definitely you can play with Duke. That's not a problem.
Beating Duke at Duke could be like a turning point mentally for our players and stuff, similar to the Notre Dame game in football season. I think the win at Florida State, it could have been that one. And
the only thing is they're not mediocre. Football was the definition of mediocre when they beat Notre Dame. Basketball's good.
Right. I mean, but still, it's Duke. You say, the tradition in Cameron Indoor and
it's great. I mean, it would be a signature win for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, maybe lead us on to some continuing to be out of the slump. All right. Or it is just another game, going there and punch a clock, and that's what really the players' mentality. We're punching the clock, we're going to get it done, and then they can talk about, well, that was a big win, a big victory afterwards. So cool.
Every game, the next game is the most important. Always.
This is correct. The next, and we talked about the times. It's at 4 o'clock Saturday. That's kind of a good time to find it on for us on TV. We talked about this during football season. I think I might actually be able to watch that whole game. Sometimes it's hard to find the entire basketball game, but it's 9 p.m. on a school night versus or a 12 noon on a. Yeah. You're dedicated, but
I've been staying up since I was in 9th grade watching them games.
All in.
That's right, baby.
Bailey bought stock before he knew what stock was.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you what else. Buy some stock in the Fun Fans podcast. Please follow us on all social media and share. Thanks again for checking us out. And on behalf of the Fun Fans podcast, Jay Thriller Entertainment, the Fanboys Fangirls Podcast Network, Bailey Jackson.
And I want to get the girl who ran into Caitlin Clark on this podcast.
Oh, that would be good.
Let's do it.
Anybody? She's an Ohio State fan, I'm assuming.
Go
right?
Tigers.
Anybody knows her, tell her to reach out